Hello and welcome to Aid Eyewitness. I'm back here at Piccadilly Station where I often pass through or hang out, and in this video I'm going to head east. I've done videos of East Manchester before, but this time I'm going to head out on the tram, stopping off at New Islington for Ancoats, at Etihad Stadium for Sportcity, and continuing on to the end of the line in Ashton. We depart from Manchester Piccadilly Metrolink stop, passing the two Fairfax towers under construction, now well advanced, with their distinctive pale grey exteriors. Next to them, the apartment block The Castings, where I visited for a previous video. And then we go through the tunnel under Great Ancoats Street onto Islington Green. I see the Chips building still partially covered in scaffolding due to recladding work. We get off at New Islington, continue past the Chips building onto the Ashton Canal, and what's this? It's the historic Stubbs factory building with the distinctive sawtooth roof. I found this photo in the Manchester Library's archive, and as we can see, the sawtooth roof is the other way round, so we'll need to go around to the other side to see how it looks today. Continuing along the Ashton Canal, let's jump back to the 1960s in this photo. Tall brick warehouses on both sides, an abandoned scene but very atmospheric. How did it look in the 90s in my very grainy black and white photo? Not much different. In a later, smoother digital image, coloured sepia, it looked virtually unchanged, but let's see how it looks now. Green. Very green. The residences on the left have replaced the tall warehouse, and that's Beswick Street Bridge further down. Let's go back to the 1962 photo again. What a transformation, but it only happened in recent years. Here's the Stubbs building again, looking from the eastern side. Taken in 1967. Nice cars, Fiat 500, Triumph Herald, Hillman Minks. Actually, today you can't get the same viewpoint because there are new apartments on the neighbouring site. But the building is substantially the same. It's been restored, and it contains commercial units, so it's still in industrial use. And now let's go just around the corner to a familiar project. I've photographed Ancoats Hospital in recent years, but here's how it looked in 1967 in a Manchester Archives photo. It was in use up to the late 80s. Its magnificent facade is a testament to Victorian architecture and healthcare provision. In 2005, I took this photo. Despite the efforts of a friends group, plans to turn it into a community centre didn't go ahead. It was rebuilt as an apartment building, and that's its use now and into the future. I got some information from the Ancoats Hospital Wikipedia page, but that page needs updating. And there's the facade with the rebuilt tower and new style architecture behind the facade, containing apartments classed as affordable and standing opposite modern buildings. I'm shooting towards the sun, so we'll return in a while to capture the facade, hopefully when there's a bit of sunlight falling on it. These ornate metalwork covers are very neat with the district name New Islington on them. Further down, as we turn the corner, we are presented with a busy and attractive scene. This is New Islington Marina, looking from the south, with its longboats parked, or should I say moored, at the waterside. Development is still ongoing around here, and there are houses and apartments available to rent. Visible in the upper right, we can see the variety of new apartments and the marina with its trees and green areas in front. Over on Great Ancoats Street, reflected in the water, is the luxury development No. 1 Port Street, now nearing completion. More adverts from Urban Splash. Fancy living here? Here's a still panorama made in the iPhone with oxygen, that's the tallest tower, visible over to the left, and No. 1 Port Street on the right. The panoramic effect has made it look narrower than it actually is. I've revisited this view quite a few times over the years, looking west along the Rochdale Canal, and it typifies how the old has been renovated and expanded, with the new all around it. Further east along the Rochdale Canal, new construction is in progress, with more apartments. It's a major project with cranes. This is Jersey Wharf by developers Manchester Life. They played a major role in the redevelopment of Ancoats. That's Victoria Mill visible in the distance. This is Beehive Mill, one of the first Ancoats mills to be renovated, and here's the view from the upper floor of the mill, which I captured on a visit back in 2002. It recaptures the atmosphere of the past, although that's not smoke, it's steam coming out of an industrial unit. There are 2 chimneys visible, but there used to be a forest of chimneys around here in times past. We're back on the north side of Jersey Wharf. Jersey Street is closed off at the east, and that's Jersey Wharf on the right. It will contain rental apartments, and Eliza Wharf, or Eliza Wharf, on the left will offer apartments to buy. Continuing our walk around Ancoats, on the intersection of Radium Street and George Lee Street, we see an old building renovated and a new one next to it, designed to be complementary. I think this works really well. It's got great proportions and the use of brick is superb. And right in the middle of Ancoats, a green space? It's a vertical green space. It plays tricks with the eyes. This is Ancoats Mobility Hub. More than a car park, it offers resident and visitor parking, bike spaces, electric vehicle charging points, and it has lots of environmental features. You could say it's the car park of the future. And now we go along a not very prepossessing street, it's Portugal Street, to a very pleasant new addition to Manchester's parks. It's Ancoats Green, which opened earlier this year. Wow, that looks like a great play area, although daughter is now 23 and she prefers skateboarding. Plenty of people lounging around on the grass in the Manchester sunshine. Old photographs provide information about the rich history of the area. And I met an Aiden Eyewitness viewer, so hi there. Let's do a panoramic sweep, and it's a story of new greenery in the midst of old industry, with new apartments on the way. That kind of sums up contemporary Ancoats. Now we're back in the heart of Ancoats, and this is where the Smith's Arms facade once was. It was such a shame it couldn't have been saved. Going back to 1967, a view with St. Peter's Church and the CIS Tower, taken from the middle of Jersey Street. Today, there are new apartments on the site, so we can't see anything. Further up the street, we can just see the end of Halle St. Peter's, the former St. Peter's Church. This is Cutting Room Square, the heart of the new Ancoats, with an interesting contemporary style extension to Halle St. Peter's. Behind it, the historic Bell Tower, rebuilt in the 1990s. One Cutting Room Square is a new apartment building, another by developers Manchester Life. There was some controversy about the height. Would it cast shadows? Well, it's there anyway, and actually I wouldn't mind living on the top floor. I wonder how many apartment units there are in Ancoats. I'm not sure. But here are some figures I found in an article about the planned Holt Town, coming up shortly. It's stated that the resident population of Manchester city centre is expected to reach 100,000 in the next 5 years. Manchester's strategy is to build more than 36,000 residential units by 2032. 10,000 of these are to be in the affordable bracket. 100,000 people living in the city centre. That's more than the population of Rochdale Borough, which is given as 97,550. What a transformation from the late 90s when I took this photo of Royal Mill before renovation. It was built in 1912. The view is from the junction where Gun Street and Pickford Street meet Jersey Street. In 2005, renovation was well advanced. But today, new buildings have appeared on the site in front of us, so I'm glad I took that photograph on colour slide film, complete with dust marks, and I'm not going to edit them out. There are superb vistas throughout both Ancoats and New Islington, with historic facades juxtaposed with newer facades. And this street has the new style sets, which are flatter than the original Victorian sets. And now we're looking back towards the Ashton Canal. They inserted the framework of a bridge to recall the one used by workers who scuttled from one building to another on the upper floors. Now, the view looking south along New Islington Marina. This is certainly a fantastic addition to Manchester city centre with its waterside apartments and narrow boats. There's another vista with the Dutch-style quirky facades at the end. Now we return to Ancoats Dispensary. The light is better, but it's not quite shining on the facade. And let's just remind ourselves how it looked in times past. I've not altered or enhanced the historic photos from the Manchester Library Connection, even though they're a little bit crooked. And here's my 2005 shots again, and during renovation, and again today. It's a magnificent piece of Victorian brickwork. It looks great from so many angles, with that reconstructed tower at the top. I've heard people criticise facadism. I think facadism is great. The building, or the facade, is now secured for the future. On top of the wall, the words Ancoats Hospital with the swirly Art Nouveau motifs. Just round the corner, another vista, the Stubbs building again, and Islington Green. Popular with locals, still not built on. And now we'll get on the Metrolink and take a quick look at the future. We're passing through Holt Town, and this area is next in line to be remade and remodelled into a 21st century style residential neighbourhood. It was a factory colony established in 1785 by David Holt. Actually, in place names, Holt means wood, from Holz in German, so the title Woodland Neighbourhood is appropriate. They're going to build 4,500 new homes, and there'll be lots of environmental features such as energy efficiency and green infrastructure. Lots more in the article, which of course is full of buzzwords. Link below. That phrase, active travel, crops up again. That means walking or cycling. Already a feature of this location because the East Link path crosses through here, and the Metrolink line comes through here as well. So the district is going to be very well connected. It will incorporate older industrial buildings side by side with new construction, just like in its neighbour Ancoats. In fact, it seems to me it will form a continuous redeveloped area, transforming the former post-industrial wasteland into, to use one of my own buzzwords, a very nice place to live and work. Actually, those visualisations look a bit drab and dreary. I think they've taken up my request to make CGIs more realistic, although in recent weeks Manchester has seen extended Mediterranean weather. What they say about Manchester being the rainy city is a complete myth. The new Holt Town is in the planning stage at the moment, but I'll keep an eye out as things progress. Now let's go on a quick tram ride into the past. This is Bradford Colliery, not the Bradford near Leeds, but Bradford in East Manchester. In the early 20th century, coal was king, though the industry was already going into decline. In 1948, just after the formation of the National Coal Board, this new state-of-the-art concrete winding tower, or head frame, was built. Yeah, I love the 1950s style lamppost with the old orange sodium vapour lamps, nearly all of which have now gone. But by the late 60s, the coal era in Manchester was over. The mining activities were causing too much subsidence in the built-up area. The old head frame was dismantled, along with the modern concrete one. By the dawn of the new millennium, new facilities were appearing next to the canal, the velodrome, and soon after, on the right, where the old Bradford Colliery used to be, the City of Manchester Stadium, built to replace the old Manchester City Stadium in Moss Side on the south side of Manchester. The new stadium looks magnificent from all angles. It was built for the Commonwealth Games and Manchester City Football Club. It was built by Lang Construction, designed and engineered by Arup, but it's been extended twice. Currently, an expanded north stand is under construction. It's a major project, increasing the stadium capacity to over 60,000. There's Co-op Life, which has now got over its teething troubles and is well established as a popular venue. The new extension to the Etihad Stadium has many facilities for fans and visitors. There's the plan of the stadium, which forms a circle around the pitch in the middle. Our home is getting bigger, says the sign. Kippax Crescent recalls the old Kippax stand, named after the street of the same name in Moss Side. It's called the Etihad Stadium, after the Abu Dhabi-based airline. Al-Etihad means the Federation in Arabic. That's the Federation of the 7 Emirates, forming the United Arab Emirates. I wonder what the Pantone number is for that shade of blue. It's very much in evidence, closely matching the sky above. This is state-of-the-art sports architecture at its best, and I've heard architects confirm that. Howard Bernstein Way is named after the late Chief Executive of Manchester City Council, who was a lifelong supporter of Manchester City. I've never seen these tiny buses before. I don't think they'd work very well on the 192 route. Those spiral access ramps are a distinctive feature of the stadium. That's the first extension on the south side, facing Ashton-Under-Lyne Road, completed in 2015. We passed the Colin Bell stand. In large words, some of their victories. and some of the things people say about the stadium. There's the Stadium Museum and the new Stadium Walk experience. Now that's something I'd be interested in. So after a brief circuit of the City of Manchester Stadium, we continue on the tram over the Ashton Canal along Ashton New Road. And here's a quick glimpse into the past, and it's the old double-deckers, 23 years ago, operated by the bus company Mayne, M-A-Y-N-E. There's the Anglican Church of St Cross and Clayton Hall tram stop. Clayton Hall itself is just beyond the trees, and we can just see that it's under renovation. But here's how it looked a few years ago when I visited. It's one of the hidden gems of Manchester. Now we're moving along the long straight section of Ashton New Road. We pass the boundary with Tameside Metropolitan Borough, and soon we are in Ashton. That's Ashton-Under-Lyne. And there's the attractive bus station or interchange, completed a couple of years ago. And a little bit further on, across the road, Ashton Railway Station. There are plans to extend the Metrolink final section so that it links up with the railway station and the bus station, creating a multimodal interchange with trains, trams and buses all adjacent to each other. In the main market square, well, that's how it looked 20 years ago in my photo, and today it's being redeveloped. The only footfall at the moment is provided by visitors of the feathered variety who like to fly around low over the site. The market square is going to be revamped with covered canopies and other facilities. The go-ahead was given by the council 2 years ago. The market hall is open, but I would have thought that the market square would have been completed by now. We remember the devastating fire that took place over 20 years ago that laid waste to the historic market, but it was rebuilt. It's interesting architecturally, with its 19th century exterior walls combined with 21st century roof sections. The best of old and new combined. Another big change in Ashton Town Centre is the replacement of the council buildings. The best view is from the IKEA store, where we will conclude our journey. We're looking east towards the Pennines, and that was the old octagonal shaped structure which was demolished and replaced by this much more contemporary building, all in white. Now we're looking over towards the west to check out the Manchester skyline. Here's how it looked in 2022 and today. We can see there are some new additions. It's developed quite a bit and will continue to develop, but very important to note, the tall buildings are clustered around the edge of the city centre. Outside of that area, buildings old and new are, apart from older council blocks, low rise. So that concludes our brief journey along the Metrolink tram line from Piccadilly Station in the city centre to Ashton-Under-Lyne in Tameside Metropolitan Borough. I hope I've captured an impression of the regeneration that's been going on in the East after many years of stagnation. It's fascinating to watch the never-ending process of new development. Will it ever be complete? Keep watching Aiden Eyewitness. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and you can become a channel member if you like and see new videos a day early. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und auf Wiedersehen in der City of Manchester und Tameside Metropolitan Borough.